Oh, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sarah J. Maas owns my soul in a way that no other author will make me have such an obsession with their books. But this book, what an absolute show. I don't even have it in my bones to be sad about this. Respectfully, I just want to hate. In case you're worried that I'm going to ruin this absolute monstrosity of a book for you, don't, because this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Now, if you've already read this book or you don't plan on reading this book, go check out my spoiler review because I break it down more over there. So we're gonna jump right into this. The first part had me so excited and entranced. I was extremely happy to be back in Prythian, but that excitement and interest soon faded by the end. I was so ready for this book to be over with. The amount of running plots and POV changes that we had in this story gave me extreme head trauma and whiplash. So I'm gonna put this big book down because it's kind of heavy. So let's talk about our main character, Bryce. Bryce, for me, has always been a selfish, immature, pick-me girl. And her character arc was so messy and made no sense. Instead of her growing into knowledge and wisdom with her powers and taking confidence in people who understand the nuisance of politics, she decided that she was gonna go off on her own and chose to shove her foot in the Cinderella slipper of a leader.
I'll make it fit. There. It fits.
It fits?
And I'm not sure where SJM was leading with this character or who told her that this is how the character should develop, but instead of becoming that female main character that we all love from Sarah J. Maas, she was just an arrogant, know-it-all brat running around like she had some kind of title and authority that she deserved. Her character just read stupid. She was running around, self-righteous, acting like she knew everything, and was just being so reckless, and she became the literal alpha holes that she said that she hated so much in the beginning. She had the opportunity to become this female main character boss babe that we all come to know and love with Sarah J. Maas, and instead read like a bootleg version of Aelin and was hard to read 90% of the time. I've also kind of lost respect for the world building. I get it. It's fantasy and there were a lot of points to hit and tie up in this story because of all the things that happened in book 1 and 2, but it just read like there was so much information being shoved down our throats and it was not executed as smoothly as I feel like it should have been. It was just one thing getting piled on after another, and it just got to the point to where it just felt like it was so much that I just became disassociated with the story. The POV switches. I don't hate multiple POVs, but having 4 to 5 different point of views in one chapter and switching constantly between them is unhinged. It literally felt like I was getting whiplash. I was trying to just keep my eyes on the story, and like it was just everywhere. It was so hard to keep up with. One minute we're here, we're over there, we're in Midgard, we're in Prythian. It was just all over the place, and it really didn't feel correlated whatsoever. This should have been written where there was maybe 1 or 2 point of views in one chapter, or it went from different point of views in each chapter, because it gave literally 0 time to be immersed in the story. Let's talk about the crossover. This was so poorly, boringly told. I know Sarah J. Maas never specifically said that she was going to give us this epic merging crossover of ACOTAR and Crescent City, but for us to have 10 minutes of ACOTAR and it was teased in book 2's cliffhanger like it was expected to be some kind of crazy crossover is unhinged. I was honestly shell-shocked with how little of ACOTAR crossover there was. We got to see 2 of the ACOTAR characters for maybe 10 minutes. The others might have been briefly mentioned in there for like 0.1 of a second, but other than that, we had no ACOTAR in it, and I really feel like it was honestly such a huge cash grab because we all know what Sarah J. Maas was doing. She knows what she was doing whenever she left us on that cliffhanger on book 2 with Recent coming in saying, "I'm Recent," or whatever he said. With him doing that and her leaving that cliffhanger, me as an ACOTAR lover, whenever I read that, I was like, so imagine this whole fan base of ACOTAR loving people that she knows are obsessed, including including myself, if they hadn't have read Crescent City and this cult following thought that there was going to be this showcase of ACOTAR merging in this series, of course they're gonna go out and they're gonna buy Crescent City if they haven't read it already, and they're gonna read Crescent City because they want to see in book 3 this crossover that was teased, because can't ever get enough of those characters. For what? For us to get 10 minutes maybe of these characters in ACOTAR. It was honestly ridiculous and literally such a huge letdown. If there was gonna be a crossover, it should have been done right. Reading the story, there was honestly no reason for there to be a crossover. The story could have had none of the characters in ACOTAR ever being met, and it would have still made sense. And I'm not just gonna say it's a cash grab because she just left us on a cliffhanger and teased some ACOTAR. No, she is cash grabbing because not only did she leave that teasing cliffhanger whenever we got 10 minutes of it in the story, but we literally got like, I think it was like 8 different carriers printing different bonus chapters in these books. So of course there's going to be people that are obsessed with Crescent City and they're going to want to read these bonus chapters, and so they're going to go out and buy every single one of those copies of the same book that they can, so they can read the bonus chapters, which is ridiculous. It's a huge cash grab. There's absolutely no reason that every single different carrier should have a different bonus chapter. We all know that they're going to be posted online eventually, but the fact that we can't own a book that has all of them, or even almost all of them in one, that we have to go out, we have to buy all these separate books to have the bonus chapters, is horse crap. Overall thoughts. This is by far my least favorite book and now series that Sarah J. Maas has ever written. This is not the same work of the Sarah J. Maas that wrote Throne of Glass and ACOTAR. I felt like there was somebody who was trying to ghostwrite for Maas and release this book, and it's just so disappointing because I was so excited about this book. I think this was the most anticipated book of the year for me personally, and I know a lot of other people feel that way too, and it just feels like it was just a huge tease, a letdown, a cash grab, and I'm just so disappointed. Now, was this the worst book that I've ever read? No. Was this a book that I would recommend to other people? Absolutely not. But will I still read every single book that she releases? Yes. Do I pray that they're written better than this book was? God, yes. Do I still love and respect Sarah J. Maas? Of course. But I had to come and give my honest review because honestly, it was just utterly earth-shattering how disappointing this book was, and I'm sure others feel that way. Comment down below and let me know if you have yet to read this book, if you're going to read this book, what you think about the Crescent Cities, what your favorite series is. Let's start a conversation. And that's all I have to say. I feel like I need to go and read some sappy, cheesy rom-com book to get me out of this hazy fog that this book put me in before I fall into a slump. So with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff that you guys know how to do. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I can't wait to see you next time.